So that's where it began, and then worked after Cameo, because it was a bit of a small company in Blouberg. I joined Sotheby's, corporate company, and working on a 50-50. In fact, up until 9 years ago, we were always working on a 50-50 when it comes to commission. That was kind of the norm in the industry. So that's how I got in, just doing it part time, and then seeing that I could succeed. Um, so yes, I've also worked at my last company for 9 years, and property.coza, and commission was never an issue there because it was quite a good model, earning allowing agents to earn 80%. But I knew, and from my previous company prior to that, where I was there for 10 years, I knew that when I left, basically they said, thanks, mate, thanks for building the brand, and leave all the rental portfolio behind, leave the mandates behind. So I thought if I was going to make a move again from Property Cosa, then it would have to be darn good, and it'd have to be for a better future. So I'm building something so when I exit the industry, I've got something to show for it.
Okay, cool. So we're going to pick that part of the discussion up a little later when we talk about your move to EXP. But
Yes.
it does strike me that, I mean, all told, I know it was a little bit part-time in the beginning, but you've been in the industry almost 30 years.
Yeah, I think they did some research about 3-4 years ago that only 0.01% of agents in South Africa have more than 20 years experience. Are definitely an endangered species. Yeah.
No, that's phenomenal. So, I mean, as a sort of career real estate agent,
Yes.
how has the industry treated you? What has life been like as a career real estate agent?
It's been good. I've worked for some good brands, and managed to purchase my a home after. I think you might remember the Red Pepper property days. I did very, very, very well there. I was the top selling agent for 2 years in a row in MLS. The MLS, it wouldn't allow me in initially. Top listing, top selling. And I was the first agent at Red Pepper to earn over R1 million commission on a 50-50, and and then put down a deposit to purchase my own home, which is a huge thing for me.
Just
Because
imagine you'd been with EXP at that time.
I can, yeah, I can imagine. I mean, I wish EXP had been around 20 years ago, because my shares and my passive income would be huge by now. I probably wouldn't be talking to you now because I would have retired.
What has real estate meant for your quality of life, the lifestyle that you can live compared
Yeah,
to the I presume your oceanography career was a kind of 9 to 5
very much.
career, but with a stable salary. So,
Yes.
yeah, lifestyle.
The lifestyle, definitely get more freedom. The obviously in the beginning you've got to work hard because you are the brand or the business. So as you build your team and you get assistance, you are able to break away and have freedom. Now, my hierarchy of values is not necessarily money, but it's running, it's my health, and then home. So you get a lot more freedom in real estate. And just to give you an idea, if I was 1 second late in my oceanographic career, because I clocked in with a card, I was in trouble, and I would be given a warning. If I worked until midnight, they didn't care. So, and then having to travel to the office all the time, and I wasn't working, living far from work, but they expected you to be there at 8 o'clock sharp. And at least with real estate, you your own boss basically, and you have a lot more freedom. And freedom to me is to be able to go into nature, go running, do trail runs, help other causes.
Okay, great, Brian. Thank you, and I
Yeah.
really do hope to see more and more of that freedom given to you through the EXP model. Now, I want to kind of transition into that move. You'd been in real estate a long time. At times, you had felt like, man, I'm just building somebody else's dream. I'm building somebody else's brand. Then at Property Koza, it was a good model. You were getting a good split, and yet you still felt like, as I understood what you said earlier, it didn't give you an exit plan. It was like, you're still just as good as your last transaction. And when I leave the company or I stop working, I lose everything. I have no more income. Now, how much did that play into the... So tell us the story. How did you first hear about EXP? What were your thoughts originally? What concerns did you have? And why did you make the transition?
I honestly didn't think it would work in South Africa. I thought, we're not ready for it. It's another perhaps American model that comes across your path every now and again. So, I humored him. I had good chats, and then he disappeared, and I was in my comfort zone. I loved the brand. I loved the people, the founders of Property Koza. So the commission was good, as you know, but I was still in the mouse in the wheel, not really being able to save, not really being able to have something if I left. If with the trail, being a trail runner, I've fallen down the mountain a couple of times, and I knew if I injured myself badly, that's it. My business would come to a grinding halt. So, and then you called me out of the blue, you being my coach and everything, and you said, Brian, take a look. I said, Steve, I'm not interested. I've already seen this. And you said, trust me, take a look. So, of course, I did. And then the light bulb started going on. I wasn't actually ready at the time because I was so, I love the people, but in retrospect, loving the people and the brand doesn't give you financial security. And being loyal doesn't give you financial security. So I took a more serious look when you sent me the video, and then I realized, I had to do the move.
Okay, and you have become one of EXP's first capping agents. I think you were the fourth capping agent in the country and in the company's history in South Africa, which is quite cool. You're in the top 5. What has capping meant for you? And maybe you can explain how it works.
Yes, yeah. So basically, I knew it meant I had to achieve a certain target of around about 600,000 commission total in gross, and 150,000 that goes to EXP. And then from at that point, I would go from 71% commission to 96. Now, I mean, that in itself is phenomenal. And I think it was you that actually said to me as well, Brian, by the way, you've also earned yourself 4,000 or 5,000 Rand shares in EXP Holdings. And the funny thing is, I got something in the mail today where it's from, just need to put my glasses on, now I'm a shareholder in the company, says your vote counts. So I thought this was the census people, but it's from Morgan Stanley Stock Plan Accounts, because I've got shares in EXP World Holdings. So now I'm actually a VIP. I need to vote for the annual meeting. So that in itself is phenomenal. And I'd forgotten until I showed one of my team members what my shares were. This is where the shares are. And I got quite a surprise. I had about 11, 12 grand shares from the sale I'd done in the beginning, and I bought into the plan that I think 5 or 10% of my commission goes to shares in the company. So now I'm building a better future. So that's the beginning of the plan. I mean, I was so excited when I saw this from EXP World Holdings. But the 96% also is good, because my next sale, that's almost 100%. And where would I get that at a real estate company? So, the brick and mortar model.
Yeah, it is quite phenomenal. If you can get to the point that you've got yourself to now where you're a capping agent, You're keeping virtually 100% of your commission. You are getting given thousands and thousands and thousands of rands worth of shares. And in addition to the shares you've been given, as you say, you're also purchasing shares at a discounted rate through that agent equity program. And so, I mean, the dream of being in real estate and at the same time building up a future for yourself, an asset base and an exit plan, that dream is no longer just a pipe dream. You're seeing it happen at EXP. How does that make you feel? I mean,
well, it makes me more excited. Well, I mean, I'm more excited about real estate now than I have been in probably 25 years. The collaboration. I initially thought there wouldn't be collaboration. There wouldn't be this feeling of togetherness, to get a feeling of family, because we don't go into an office. But I've been proven wrong, and I've only missed one online meeting in EXP World with you in 9 months, 10 months. So I guarded jealously, and the support from agents around the country is amazing. People are helping me to build my team. Somebody called me yesterday that knows you, asked me about EXP from my perspective, so I'm helping you. I didn't get that in the traditional, real estate companies. They were my competitors, and there would be a knife in somebody's back to get the stock, and I haven't experienced that at EXP, which is phenomenal.
Yeah, the culture at EXP is phenomenal, and it is. In fact, just about every person I interview, Brian, says the same thing. We thought it was going to be an isolating kind of environment, this cloud-based business. There's no offices. And actually, having come in, we realized that the opposite is true. It is the most collaborative, the most family-orientated, friendly environment. And I've got my theories around why that is, but why it is irrelevant. That is the way it is. I want to pick up on something you said earlier about loyalty, because this is something that agents struggle with. Some agents can't wait to get out of their current company. They're unhappy. They want to just move on. They see EXP. They love the model. It makes sense. They can't join fast enough. Other agents, however, say, the company that I'm with, they treat me well. I've had people say things like, I had cancer, and when I was going through my treatment, my principal was so good to me. There are often these very close relational ties that agents have with their current company.
Yes.
And they think I am being disloyal if I leave and I go to EXP. And again, I have my own opinion of that, but I want to ask you, what do you think loyalty means, and what doesn't it mean?
Yeah, it's nice. It gives you a fuzzy feeling being at a big brand, or being close to the people you work with. But people come and go, principals come and go, and brands change. Seif became Pam Golding, or vice versa. So I think loyalty is great, but it doesn't build a better future for you and your family. At the end of the day, it's you're building someone else's dream or someone else's brand. But at EXP, the first person that phoned me when I had my home invasion was Andrew Thompson. Second person was you. I'm getting that already, that fuzzy feeling which I had at Property Koza, or my previous company. But I don't think people should let loyalty get in the way of their better future or their kids' future, because this business, as you know, it's willable. You can leave it to your children or your cat, for that matter. So I've been down that road of loyalty, and it's good, but it doesn't pay long term.
Yeah, and so I think you're absolutely right. At some point, you've got to look at your own future, your own family, and say, I'm loyal to them. I'm loyal to my wife. I'm loyal to my children. I'm loyal to my own future. The other thing I would add to that is that I don't think loyalty means necessarily having to stay where you are for life. Loyalty can mean the way I exit is honorable, it's transparent. I don't do anything to hurt the company. I don't steal listings or contact information. I do everything transparently and cleanly, and I do it as peacefully as I can from my perspective. That's, to me, that's loyalty.
Yeah.
But I still have permission to look after my family and my future. So I think you can be loyal and leave at the same time.
Yeah, with the Property Koza, with me being so loyal to the brand, I made sure I sold the last two properties, and I had a very close relationship with my sales manager, and she knows me well. That I did not try and take any clients. I handed back all the properties that I hadn't sold, and to not burn bridges, because it's amazing that how small this world is. If you burn bridges and you steal a database, or you quickly go and work with the clients that you shouldn't be because it belongs to the company, that gets around. And I've done that with all my companies. So I'm glad that you brought that up.
Okay, so what would you say to agents out there who are looking at EXP and thinking whether it might be for them or not? What would your advice be?
Now that I've jumped in and I've been successful, and will continue to be successful, I would say don't procrastinate too long. Do your due diligence, just like I did. I actually spoke to some senior agents in the UK and the principal in the UK, and one or two people that were local, that were so friendly, and that helped me make the transition. But if you're still undecided, do a pros and cons list of staying versus leaving, and what you get at your current company, what you can gain at EXP. Then you take the emotion out of it, and you're not thinking with your head. Because my problem was, I procrastinated for 6 months because I was emotionally involved with the company. So, but I would do due diligence, and it's a no-brainer actually. But if you need to do your due diligence, do it, like I did before I did the leap of faith.
Great, Brian, and I'm so glad you took that leap of faith. So one last question. As you look into the future now, where is EXP taking Brian Super? What do you see in your future?
Well, I see me, well, financially, in a much better position, because in the last year I've saved 10% of everything I've earned, and that is, I haven't been able to do that at my previous brand because I wasn't that successful. Various reasons, offices closing down. There was a lot of drama at my previous brand, no fault of their own. But I've now more than 100,000 I've been able to save at EXP, besides the shares. So I definitely see a brighter future, more freedom, and selling real estate when I feel like it, and helping others to do the same, and being able to possibly retire in 5 or 6 years' time, and then emigrate if I want to, and go and work for EXP somewhere else in the world.
Excellent, Brian. Well, I wish you all the best, and I look forward to taking the journey with you every step of the way. And thank you for your time today.
Yeah, pleasure, and thanks to you as well.